Lamar Walker Show, where the real ones talk and the wild thoughts go. We laugh, we cry, yeah, we let it roll. Healing through a joke and a story for the soul. This, that Lamar Walker Show. Turn it up loud, let the whole block know. From pain to punchlines, watch the wisdom glow. Yeah, this, that Lamar Walker Show. Oh yeah, you turn scars into skits, old wounds into bits. Every call in, every friend feels like Sunday once again. From the grind to the glow up, glass half empty, you pour more up. You take the weight we hold below and lift it on the Lamar Walker Show. This, that Lamar Walker Show, where the real ones talk and the wild thoughts go. We laugh, we cry, yeah, we let it roll. Healing through a joke and a story for the soul. This, that Lamar Walker Show. Turn it up loud, let the whole block know. From pain to punchlines, watch the wisdom glow. Yeah, this, that Lamar Walker Show. Hey, some days heavy, some days light. You still find a way to make it feel alright. When the world's too loud, when the bill's too high, I press play, hear your voice, and I remember why. This, that Lamar Walker Show, where the real ones talk and the wild thoughts go. We laugh, we cry.
And we are back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the greatest podcast on the face of the earth. We are here. This is the Lamar Walker Show. We got to get right down to business. And the business is Jada Pinkett Smith is back doing her rounds. And, you know, when this woman talks, it becomes insufferable. I have never seen a woman literally hate her husband the way this woman hates Will Smith. And I don't even know where it comes from. You know, Will Smith is a good dude. I've met Will Smith. Will Smith is a great guy. You know, good looking dude, can get any woman on earth, but for whatever reason, Will continues to let this woman hold him hostage, and he refuses to leave for reasons I don't know. I don't know. And to men that are watching this, you know, sometimes you got to put your foot down. You know, it's like, yo, I'm not going to take this shit. You have to leave. I understand they have the children together. They have the wonderful family, but she just doesn't like him. And I think she doesn't like him because she resents him. It's just years of resentment, years of her thinking to herself, if I had never married, and this is real, this is what I believe. She's thinking to herself, and she's older now, midlife crisis. She's saying to herself, if I had never married Will Smith, would I have been bigger? Would I have been, you know, on the level of, I don't know, Zoe Saldana, whatever big actress there is out there in the world. But being with Will and being an actress, she resents the fact that she settled into Will's shadow. It's almost like she would much rather have the life and career of maybe a Vivica Fox or Sanaa Lathan, because she clearly hates this man. She hates him. And it's just, it's befuddling to me. So I've pulled up something here that we could listen to as she does this interview. And I'm just like, what's happening? You know, so let's check this out.
I could love myself and love others, that we could all be on the road together. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to speak my truth, but I'm also gonna protect you. So if I gotta look like the adulterous wife to make sure you're good.
What do you mean if you cheated? You were messing and having an entanglement with the young man. What do you mean you have to make you look like it?
I'm gonna do it. Y'all. I learned how to love myself and not leave Will on the side of the road.
You left him on the side of the road when you was in that entanglement getting bust down by August Alsina. Y'all were in the car and Will was on the curb when August Alsina was pulling that wood out on you.
And I hadn't learned how to love Will.
You didn't love him. You never really loved him. You didn't love him when you was getting bent over by that young boy.
And not leave myself on the side of the road.
You weren't on the side of the road because you was in the car with that boy.
In that moment, because I felt so bad that he was in this situation, I decided I'm gonna love you, Will, and I'm gonna leave myself at the side of the road.
You gonna love Will while you getting gutted by this man. Now, I guess when August Alsina was putting that stick on her, I guess she thought about how she loved Will. I'm guessing.
And on top of it, I want Will out. I don't want him part of this. Okay,
Well, we know you didn't want him part of it because the damn sure wasn't no threesome. Okay, you were passionately getting drugged by that young man.
the bad guy. I'm the worst. Great. Let's be
You are the worst. You know, it's funny to me how women will go through great depths to evade any and all accountability.
done with it. Right. I wanted it done. You got your answer. I'm the adulterous wife. Let's be done. And let's move on.
Yes, let's just forget about it, Will. Okay, I fucked the guy. All right, what's the problem? What's the problem? Let's move on. I fucked this guy because I love you.
You know, as to get him through it, the family through it, let it go.
Let it go. That's right. And fellas, if you come home and your wife admits to being gutted or knocked down, let it go. It wasn't her fault. You pushed her to do that.
Right. And, but I had to learn. That was a big learning moment for me. I wouldn't have been able to see that aspect of myself that needed to learn.
Now it's just all about you again. This woman is a narcissist, man. This is real narcissistic behavior that's going on right now.
That I could love myself and love others. That we.
You've only loved yourself because when Will was on the curb, as you say, you were loving yourself in that car as you were getting the brakes beat off that ass.
Could all be on the road together.
Y'all weren't on the road. You was in the car with August as Will sat on the curb and cried. And I don't, my thing is with Will, I don't understand. Will can get any woman he want in the world. I like to talk about things called rock bottom and cliff top. Yeah. So when Jada was in the entanglement, that's my Will Smith I'm doing. Poor Will. We have to go through great depths to free Will Smith. Like, this shit is just sad. This is sad. And I don't know what kind of childhood trauma that Will received in his life to cause him to hold on to such a treacherous woman that clearly doesn't care about him. It's almost to the point, I wouldn't be surprised if Will came home and saw this woman spread out eagle wide, just getting humped on with her legs in the air. She like, could you give me some juice out of the refrigerator? I'm doing this for you, Will. Imagine you come over, your wife getting banged, and she looking at you. I'm doing this for you, baby. This is for you. This is for our love. Give me some juice. So I came home and Jada was eagle-wide. And bro, listen, we are lost. Guys, look, I need to talk to y'all. I got to open up. I think I might be at the end of the road with this comedy shit, man. You know, I think I'm coming to the end of the road. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason being is because we live in a world today where talent means absolutely nothing. And the thing is this, right? I'm not bitter. I'm not mad. I would love to see, when I watch comedy, I would love to see like people that are better than me winning. And I know like comedy is unjust, but that's just not what it is. We just at a real race to the bottom. So I don't know, guys, but I just had to put that out right there. I might be wrapping this shit up. So, but I appreciate all of you who've been tapping in and supporting me on this long road. No, I'm just bullshitting. I'm just talking. But anyway, yeah. There are things where people will come. Will talk slow as shit. He got to talk like that because the woman in his life is just treacherous.
I can love myself and love others.
It is just treacherous, man. It is treacherous, and it is more. This is not it. This is not the end of this. It is even more. So let's go on what really happened with Will and August Alsina. Let's talk about this. Let's take a look at this. Let's see.
You tell, can I tell the little twist part?
Yeah, you tell the little twist part.
Set it up, because this one I was ready to throw my book across the room.
Yeah. So, you know, everything came out, and I was like, oh, I got to take myself to the table. Like now, mind you, Will and I were not together. We hadn't been together. 2016. And I decided I'm going to take myself to the table. Will says, I want to come to the table with you. And I was.
And he said it like this: I want to come to the table with you.
Really surprised, and I was like, wow. He's like, I don't want you to be at the table by yourself. I want to support you. And so I was like, oh, okay. So he comes to the table, and you know, I try to just, you know, and this is a really complex moment. We come to the table, and Will's not ready. He's not ready. And he's kind of backtracking. And he's going through this motion. And I'm like,
Have you ever seen people have such a hard time being like rich, wealthy, and famous? You would think, you know, when I hear Jada Pinkett talk and talk about what's going on in this house, you would think that they were poor, struggling coal miners living in West Virginia.
so I'm like, well, I'm going to have to speak my truth, but I'm also going to protect you. So if I got to look like the adulterous wife to make sure you're good, I'm going to do it.
Oh, my God. That's admit. I guess it's the same thing we just watched, but oh God, it's very, very unfortunate, man. My prayers go out to Will. You know, yeah, I got a lot of love for Willie. And then this is her. This is her not understanding why Will Smith slapped.
Really worried about.
This is her not understanding why Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. This is some narcissistic shit here.
Oh, now, first of all, I'm really shocked because, mind you, I'm not there. We haven't called each other husband and wife in a long time.
You don't have to. You're married, baby. The certificate, the wedding.
I'm like, what is going on right now?
My wife's
name out of your mouth, right? And I'm like, but now I'm really worried for Will because I don't know what's going on.
This is why Hollywood is falling off of the bone, because these people are literally full of shit in Hollywood.
Chris looks to me and he says, Jada, I meant no harm. Now, I'm just out of it because I'm really worried about
And
Will.
what's Will doing? He's just sitting there?
And Will's still talking. He's like, he's still, because now he's mad because Chris is talking to me. And I go, Chris, this is about some old shit. That's all I could think to say, right? And I couldn't really take in his apology.
You became the bad.
You know, we all watched that slap where Will Smith went up there, and we all watched her watch her husband slowly rise up out of that seat. And we watched almost a smile on her face as he was getting ready to, like, literally throw his career away and set his shit on fire. She didn't think to put out a hand and say, no, what are you doing? Sit down, or grab him in the moment. She just watched this man walk off of a literal plank to jump into an ocean of sharks. And Will laughed at the joke and she looked sad. But for whatever reason, she doesn't know what happened.
Guy. Look what Jada made him do. Jada rolled her eyes and look what he did. He ran up there and hit Chris.
Yeah.
Poor Will. That's what the narrative became.
Yeah.
I would respect Jada more if she just said, listen, I never liked this nigga. My true love, Tupac, died. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Baltimore. I just want to be a hood rat. I don't know what it's like to have no nigga love me like this. Like, I would respect that shit more.
So poor Will because of the
adulterous wife.
Yeah.
Who forced him to go to the table and sit there, you know what I mean? And now look at what she's done. She has the power with an eye roll to make him go up and slap somebody on stage.
This is called being married to your ops. And you got to be careful, man, because she really hates this nigga. And I just feel so bad. I feel so bad for this man. I ain't going to even lie to y'all. It's very, very sad. It's very troubling to me to know that. But yeah, and we're going to move right along, man. I'm going to keep it moving, man. I hope y'all having a great, great day. Also, too, I saw this today.
Come up with a agreement.
This is new. So it looks like Boosie will no longer be working with Vlad. Boosie has had enough because Vlad doesn't want to give Boosie a $5,000 pay raise.
I ain't do Vlad no more. We couldn't come up with a agreement. He ain't want to pay me. I wanted $5,000 more than he wanted to pay me. He didn't want to pay me, so.
Now let me explain. So Vlad does not want to give Boosie the $5,000 extra, and basically, what has happened is Boosie's numbers have been through the roof the past few years, and now people have moved on. So Vlad looked at them numbers and said, "Listen, I'm not gonna make the return back because I'm guessing, you know, if he giving Boosie $30,000 for an interview, Vlad is making $300,000, right? You know, he want to keep it right there. Your interviews would need to be making $350,000. But what Vlad is noticing, there's a downtrend in the Boosie interviews. So they're coming to a head. And now Boosie wants to start his own.
I think I'm gonna make more money doing it this way. And I'm editing my interview now.
I hope he does, but I don't really know if that's going to be the case. My guess is that he will go back to Vlad and just keep it where it's at. Because if you're making 30 to 40,000 to sit down, why do we need to keep increasing?
I don't know what time it is. Let's talk about it. Uh-oh. Y'all get ready. In 7 months. Let's go.
You know what I think is happening though? Now, about a week ago, and I said this, and people call me a hater because you just can't have an opinion. If you don't agree with the masses, you're typically a hater. So a week ago, Boosie had posted that he makes $100,000 every weekend. And I guess that's a combination of doing Vlad interviews and features in these small towns with rappers, aspiring rappers. And I just laugh because I'm like, dude, who's paying for a Boosie feature on some music shit in 2026? Now, was that me being hateful or was that just the truth? Looking at the current nature and the state of just rap music, and especially this street music. And look, I'm almost 50, and thank God my son, he's 10, he about to be 11. My son is a nerd. He's not into none of that shit, and I'm so proud of him. And I'm happy to say that I think that shows some good parenting. But in 2026, if I'm an up-and-coming rapper and I'm living in a small town and I give Boosie $10,000, I'm not making that shit back. Let's just call a spade a spade. You're not going to make that shit back. Matter of fact, where am I even going to hear this shit at, bro? Like, you're not making that shit back. You're just not. You're not. So Boosie is going to these small towns and he's getting these guys. And look, I wouldn't even call it a feature. Boosie, you should just charge these niggas $10,000 for a meet and greet. Because that's what it is. It's $10,000 meet and greets. You hang out with Boosie, we good. And I think that the money's going down. That's why he wanted to increase the payment over there with Vlad. Now, hopefully, I hope his podcast works. I really do. I doubt it, you know what I mean? But I want him to win. But let the lesson be this, and this is for anybody in entertainment, whatever you're doing for podcast, rap, whatever. In the entertainment business, nobody gives you anything. People come not necessarily to take advantage of you, but they're coming. If I give you $1,000, I'm making $10,000. Remember that. Remember that. Or if somebody give you $1,000, they're saying, okay, well, you're worth that to me, right? But it's not a thing of anybody giving you anything, okay? It just doesn't work like that. What you say, what I'm talking about? Well, first we was talking about Will and Jada, and now we have moved on to Boosie leaving Vlad TV, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Dwayne Daniels. Johnny Dalton needs help. Johnny Dalton is going through hell right now. All we need is $15 to make it home. Please help. He's from Arkansas. He has no family, and all he has is his daughter left. This is Johnny's PayPal. If y'all want to send him the $15, send Johnny the $15. And you say you just need 15 to get on your feet, Johnny? Is that what's going on? You need $15 to get on your feet. I need to move where you live if you only need 15 to get back on your feet. Just $15 will put Johnny Dalton back on his feet to help him and his daughter, so you can get that over to him on his PayPal. But yeah, hopefully, I'm wishing all the luck to Boosie Boo. Hopefully this goes the way he thinks it'll go. And because Vlad is just saying he's squeezed all the juice out of the rock. Like Vlad is telling Boosie basically there's nothing left. Like these interviews are hitting a wall. The more of my chop up, you were doing viral moments. I was making 10 times my money off of you, and now I can't. And that doesn't mean that Vlad is not his friend. It's just business. That's all. And when the well typically will run dry after a while. So that's where we have it. Also today, I saw something real interesting. Johnny Somali. I don't know if y'all know who this is. This was new to me. A kid named Johnny Somali, who is an influencer. This is the guy here. Johnny Somali has been found guilty of all charges and sentenced to prison with labor in South Korea. He will be transferred to a specialized labor facility. His phones will be confiscated. He will be designated as an offender. So Johnny Somali is an influencer. And he went over to South Korea trying to do the pranks and play these influencer jokes for views. And now they threw his dumb ass in jail. Because a lot of these people, they have to fuck around and find out. Okay, so he's going to be in a Chinese labor camp or a South Korean labor camp for the next 5 to 6 years. Because he has to learn. And when y'all go to these other countries, they don't play that shit over there. They're not playing with you. He's sitting up there talking shit about their president, doing this, doing that. And I guess Johnny Somali can understand the freedoms that he has in America are quite different from that of overseas. You know? So they threw him into prison. It's a wrap. And let's see if we could pull something up on Google in regards to this. Because this is something that really needs to be seen and needs to be studied. So let's go to Google, Johnny Somali. And here we have it. Okay. Johnny Somali, American online provocateur, sentenced to prison in South Korea. Known for desecrating a monument to victims of sexual slavery, the former YouTuber was convicted on multiple charges and he just got a 6-month sentence. He is very lucky. Johnny Somali, an American social media streamer known for desecrating a monument to women forced into sexual slavery during World War II, was sentenced to 6 months in prison in South Korea on Wednesday, and one of the harshest penalties handed down in the country for pulling stunts online. He was convicted by a court in Seoul on several charges, including obstructing a business and distributing sexual deepfakes, according to local news. A court official confirmed the sentence, but the verdict was not immediately available. Somali, 25, his legal name is Ramsey Khalid Ismail, and an online personality specialized produces Rage Bait, chosen as 2025's Word of the Year by the Oxford University Press and defined as an online content deliberately designed to elicit anger or outrage by being frustrating, provocative, or offensive. His stunts involve blasting music in public, yelling at strangers, and vandalizing a small business in Seoul. He was arrested in Japan for trespassing on a construction site in Osaka in 2023 and was fined equivalent about $1,000 for disrupting a restaurant there with loud music. He drew widespread condemnation in South Korea in 2024 after he posted videos of himself kissing the Statue of Peace. A bronze monument in Seoul of a woman sitting on a chair with an empty chair next to her commemorates the comfort women of World War II, a euphemism for those forced into sexual slavery by the Japanese military. The South Korean authorities charged him at the time of being a public nuisance and barred him from leaving the country. It was unclear whether he was convicted or charged later to the episode. I'm going to say this. Johnny Somali deserves 10 years. Fuck 6 months. Give his ass, let that motherfucker rot for 10 years. Because Johnny Somali needs to learn. 6 months is not enough for him to learn. He's going to get out in the 6 months, be more popular, and he's going to do more damage. 10 years for Mr. Somali in a rice field. 10 years. Other online provocateurs have been punished for their quest for views. In January, Philippines deported to Russia a YouTuber, Vitaly Zvresky, who was accused of harassing people, petty theft, and hijacking a tricycle. Yeah, dude, they're not playing that shit over there. And to those countries, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I think even America, they need to start that shit. If you pranking people, they need to be able to sue your ass. If you going into public fucking with people at their jobs and harassing people in Walmart, the shit need to be sued out of you. You need to do jail time. That's how I feel. It's because it's gotten out of line and people get paid from it. You know what I'm saying? So it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And maybe, I'm an old man sitting here telling people to get off my lawn, but you can't go to other countries and expect them to just act as if they're America. It doesn't work like that. It really doesn't. I hope you guys are having a good day. All right. So Jack Dorsey, who owned Twitter back in the day, says you need to be unemployed to keep up with this all this AI stuff. Let's see what he has to say.
I think most of the industry is thinking about AI as like a co-pilot, as something that is augmented onto, rather than like, how do you just rebuild our whole company with this as the core? And if it doesn't make sense for your business to do that, and you end up looking very similar or rhyming too closely with the frontier labs, I think it's going to be a very, very challenging to differentiate and survive. That's kind of what's been leading me to all this, is like since January of 2024, which is when these tools really came to bear. Goose, which is an agent coding harness, was 1 month before Claude Code in January of 2024. And Claude Code came out that following month and then was really put out of beta in May of that year. That whole year, I just spent every single day for 3 hours every morning just pushing myself, like, can I get it to do something that I didn't think it was capable of, or I didn't think I was capable of? And every single day it worked. Every single day I was surprised. I'm sorry, it wasn't 2024, it's 2025. It's only been a year of those tools, like 1 year. The compounding nature of this is pretty incredible. Being able to see that, understand it, and then shift your company to be ahead of it, I think is absolutely critical right now. I don't think people are feeling it enough. They're just living in this abstraction of like, oh yeah, these tools will make everyone in our company 10x more productive. I don't think this is a productivity thing. I think it's a structural thing that needs to shift.
Y'all heard that? So it's going to be very hard for people to keep up with all this. It's going to be a while before it catches up. Mr. Browse says, man, they're sucking whole lakes up in a month. Time to cool the buildings that hold these computers. Shut that crap down and go back to AOL 2.0. Well, that's not going to happen. They're going to keep moving this along. We're going to keep moving the goalposts. I really don't know where this ends. I really don't. I just feel kind of sorry for my son, man, who got to grow up in this weird world, bro. It's very, very weird. Here we got something else on Will Smith talking. Let's take a look at this.
You cannot make a person happy. And I thought that was a real deep idea. You can make a person smile, you can make a person feel good, you can make a person laugh, but whether or not a person is happy is deeply and totally and utterly out of your control. We came into this false romantic concept that somehow when we got married that we would become one. And what we realized is that we were two completely separate people on two completely separate individual journeys. And that we were choosing to walk our separate journeys.
No, Will, you've been held hostage, bro.
Together. But her happiness was her responsibility, and my happiness was my responsibility.
This sounds like a man that's just been held hostage. This is what she's pushed him to. Unreal, man. My prayers go out to Will Smith, guys. They go out to Brother Will. They go out. It's so sad. It is so sad. You know, I want to talk about, oh yeah, and this too right here. I don't think, you know, rest in peace to this young lady, but her parents, this is the young lady that was in Tanzania. She was in Tanzania, and unfortunately her life was taken, or she allegedly committed suicide, which we know what happened. The white boy did what he do. But this GoFundMe picture, right, with her in the Lamborghini, I just don't think this is going to raise the money that you guys think. And to the young ladies that are out here in the streets and you're looking for the baller, at least if you're going to live this lifestyle, at least just set a little bit aside for a life insurance policy. Because you could get a life insurance policy for less than a cup of coffee, okay? For what you spend at Starbucks a month, you could have a cool life insurance policy, and your parents won't have to beg. I don't know, like the lady, I guess she had Birkin bags, something. Maybe they could sell some Birkin bags or some of the materialistic possessions that this young lady had to bury her. But this GoFundMe picture with her in a Lamborghini and her literally shitting on hardworking everyday people while she was alive and talking about how great it was to date this rich white man, I don't think she's gonna get the empathy that the parents are looking for. I just don't see it happening. And I mean, now you look at this is almost a running joke. So ladies, if you're gonna sell your ass, make sure you put a little bit aside for insurance, for burial insurance or whatever, because you'll meet these tricks and some of them are crazy, right? They're crazy and things happen. So you gotta, you have to prepare. Very, very sad though. My condolences go out to that young lady and her family. The body is still over in Tanzania. So this is unreal. Oh God, and we have more. We have more. I keep coming back to this. Now it's continuously pulling up, but here we go again.
If Will looked back and was trying to give me whatever the hell it was I was asking for, he wouldn't have been able to accomplish it anyway. Because if I'm not connected to myself, if I don't have a good relationship with me, there's nothing he can do. So I was going to be asked out anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's part of the journey. There's no right or wrong. Everybody's always trying to find the good guy or bad guy in people's stories. There's no good guys or bad guys. We're all wounded trying to figure this shit out. You know? And so it took me a long time to realize it is not his responsibility to make you happy. He can't. It's impossible.
You know who could, though? August Alsina. August Alsina could make... August Alsina made her happy.
But it took me forever. Hard-headed, stubborn, you know, because that romantic idea. And that's why I talk about checking the boxes. It's like, I did everything I was supposed to do. You get to have your dream. How come I'm not having mine? And
that's what this is about. That's what this whole thing is about. She tired of him making all the movies while she's sitting at the house. She want to be in the movies too. It's not enough just to be a mother and a wife. That's not enough. It's not enough.
That's because Will was doing what he wanted to do.
Yeah, he was working, and she wasn't working. And she got tired of that shit.
He was making himself happy.
He was making himself happy.
No, he was working because there was a demand for his services, and he was making blockbuster films.
Hey.
And he says that to you, doesn't he? He says, when you separate, he says he wants you to go and...
He's like, go
make yourself happy?
Go make yourself happy.
Yeah, do what you want to do, but you still wasn't booking no roles. You wasn't booking no roles. And that's what you're most frustrated about, not being in the business.
And how did you receive that?
Not well. Gotta do it on your own.
Yeah, but they not booking you.
Gotta do it on your own.
She wasn't getting no bookings. You know, after girl, you know, she popped back up in that girls trip, but I mean, it wasn't no bookings. It wasn't no bookings. That's what happens, man. You know, that's the business of Hollywood. And now the movie business is over with. You know, we might see Will in one more film because this shit is done. Will could probably sell his likeness or something to be an AI, but this is where we're at, guys. It's very unfortunate. Oh, look at this. Oh, my gosh. Michael B. Jordan says he's looking for a traditional woman who doesn't use social media. Am I tripping? Was that considered unrealistic now? I think Michael B. Jordan would have an easier time finding a leprechaun that's half leprechaun, half mermaid, than finding a modern woman in 2026 that doesn't use social media. That is virtually impossible. Or maybe you go to another country or you find some woman in the Amazon that's never seen a phone. And if you do that, never bring her here, because then she's going to meet other women and then I want the phone. I want this phone. I love phone. And then she's going to turn into an IG baddie. This is a level of contagion that just can't be defeated. So, no, it's not going to happen, bro. Rapper Jay Electronica was spotted in Miami. Let's see what he has to say.
Free Puff, by the way. They tried to hang my dog on some bullshit. Just because a nigga like to get nasty, they tried to hit him with the book of words.
I agree with Jay Electronica. Free Puff, man. Free Diddy, man. Free Diddy till the world blow up. You know what I'm saying? No, you are not a leprechaun because you on here on this YouTube commenting on here. This is social media too, my dear. It might be YouTube, but it's still social media. I love the people say, I don't do nothing online. If your ass watching YouTube, you online. Okay, this is not the morning news. This is social media where you come on here and talk to me. So I can't let you go on that purpose. And then some people I wouldn't even trust if they wasn't on social media. That's kind of like, why aren't you on social media? What is this about? What are you hiding? Well, this is a great topic of discussion. The game, and look, I want y'all to chime in. Let's focus right now. Let's get back focused here. The game says Drake's absence is hurting hip hop and the culture is down 50% without him. I'm going to repeat that again. The game says Drake's absence is hurting hip hop and the culture is 50% down without him. Do you guys agree with the game statement? Let me know in the comments section. Let me know, chat. Do you guys agree with the game statement? Is hip hop down without Drake? Is hip hop down without Drake? That's what I want to know. Let me know if hip hop is down without Drake. You said no. She says no. I'm going to be honest. Man. I got to keep it funky. And look, I guess my advice being I'll be 49 this year. I'm an old man. You know, my advice isn't really the best of what I think is kind of dated, I would say. But I will say from what I can see in my perception of hip hop, I mean, it's on hospice care, right? And, you know, it's kind of boring without Drake and Kanye, to say the least. It's boring without them. Like, who's the new big artist? Who is like the guy everybody's talking about? You really don't hear about this anymore. And the street rappers are just, they really on death's door, which is a good thing for the community. All the street rapping about the street and all that shit is just over with. And that is such a benefit to the black community. But I think I'm gonna go with the game. I'm gonna agree with the game. I feel what he's saying. Like, I feel what he's saying. I don't see it. I don't see it. I think they do need Drake there. And then, like, where's Kendrick? Like, where's Kendrick right now? You would think Kendrick would still be hammering away, but he's not. Because Kendrick's relevancy was tied to Drake. He got a whole Super Bowl performance on a diss track, bro. But y'all don't want to have that discussion. Y'all just want to take Drake out of the equation. Like Drake is not him and hadn't been holding hip-hop down. Just out of pure hatred of Drake. Just hatred because he was up on the mountaintop too long. And the people wanted to tear him down. Let me show y'all something about jail. These are the prisoners in jail. They having a full pool party in the jail. That's life in jail. Just imagine jumping in the damn dumpster. They doing slip and slides in jail. And this is why you want to stay the hell up out of jail. This is prison TikTok. You want to be on a prison TikTok jumping in the dumpster. And somehow, Society has made black people think this shit is cool. Somehow, some CIA psyop made us think this shit is cool. To the point where this is so wild and sickening and ridiculous that you see rich children or kids of rich black people want to be thugs and live street life who grew up in affluent communities. That's where we at right now. That's where we at, y'all. I mean, and I get it. They just want to feel some sunshine while they in there serving their time. But man, that is woo, that's sad, bro. That shit is sad. I don't know if this is true. Y'all let me know. Look like Stefan Diggs found out that baby with Cardi B isn't his. And he allegedly put this in his stories, imagine loving a child with everything in you, waking up every day for them, sacrificing for them, then find out numbers are even real. I feel broken, disrespected, completely fooled. I don't even know what comes next after something like this. I don't know. Is that true? Is that baby really not for him? That can't be true. I don't believe that. It's no way. That cannot be true. That's not true. Is that true, y'all? Let me know. Okay, they
feel
got,
like
they
it's
got Dave Chappelle talking about the trans people in the interview here. Let's see what Dave has to say. Dave is my twin.
but what about people who feel like you're punching down, like you are not a trans person, and there are people who feel like it's different when you are part of the group that has been attacked, hurt, demeaned, etc. And then if you're outside of that group and you're having commentary about it, it causes feelings. And what do you say to people who feel that in some occasions you're punching down?
Well, okay, this is a conversation that I'm,
You're bored by, sick of.
Nah, yeah, I'm not sick of it. I don't want to be dismissive to that sentiment, but I don't know. That's a tough one for me because so much of that was a media phenomenon. What was happening in actual life versus how the media was reporting on my show. And I feel like the way they reported on that show was rage baiting to some degree. And there's so many different branches to talk about it. But I would say that, not everything is for everybody. I don't tell country artists what to sing about if I'm not going to go see a country show. If they bought tickets ever, maybe I'd listen. I don't know. They're just never there. I don't even know who's telling them I say these things.
Do you feel like your jokes are misrepresented, or you think they're misrepresented for a purpose, which is to?
It's almost some
clicks,
reporting
whatever.
was as if they almost reported on it as if I was doing something other than a comedy show. I could go on and on about this, but I got to be
Interesting.
careful.
So in a way, like you're saying, look, I'm a comedian. Everybody knows that I'm a comedian. So if you don't like my humor, don't buy a ticket.
Reading a joke is a lot different than sitting in a room and hearing it. And part of the sitting in the room part of one of the reasons comedy works is because everyone that bought a ticket, clearly they want it to work. They want to have a good time. They want to have fun. But if you're a person that is very angry or passionate about something, and you're afraid that you're going to be misrepresented or misconstrued, and you feel like you have to police comedy to get your point across, you should assess your point.
I don't understand why people just can't laugh at some shit and move on. Shit. People act like as comedians, we just like politicians or government officials or something. All we do is just talk shit. You know what I mean? Like, that shit is weird to me. I don't understand that. Like, why do you care about what a comedian got to say? A comedian that does not design the laws, doesn't do anything. Like, we just clowns. Very weird. Well, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm leaving. I love y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in once again. And call me. We're going to wrap this up. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let me put my outro on there. So long.